What up, Laker fam?
Laker fam!
Let's go, Lakers!
Let's go, let's go, let's go! Let's go!
We ballin'. But it's purple. Oh, let's go, baby. We ballin'. Ain't nobody in the world that can stop us.
LA, I got us. Who with me? Let's roll.
Oh, yeah, you already know.
You know what they yell when they see me?
Hurling, go, hurling, go.
This Diane's on my way to the
Slam dunk.
gonna hate her like who?
3, 2, 1.
Yeah. Champions of the spot. Watch how they watch us. Meet me at the top.
LA, baby.
Nah, we ain't gon' stop. LA be like, they got fans like, LA be like.
We ballin'. Ain't nobody in the world that can stop us. We ballin'. It's all purple gold, baby. It's all purple gold.
At one guard, number 15, 6'5", fourth campaign from Oklahoma, Austin Reeves. Starting at center, number 11, 7 feet, 6th season out of Texas, Jackson Hayes. At one forward, number 23, 6'9", 22nd campaign, St. Vincent St. Mary's High School, an all-star, LeBron James. And the other guard wears number 77, 6'7", 7th campaign from Slovenia, Luka Doncic. Head coach, J.J. Redick.
What up, Lakers Nation? 1 second. We're starting off bad, starting the stream off bad. What up, man? How y'all doing today? Looks like we're having more technical difficulties. 1 second while we get this situated here. All right. What's up, Lakers Nation? How y'all doing today? Welcome back to Bleacher Report, your Tuesday, May 27th edition of Lakers Daily. Welcome back. Remember, we're here every day of the week, Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Pacific. Welcome in, man. We got a lot to talk about as we push. We're in the summer now, man. We are here in the summer. Finals going on. You got game 5 tonight game 4 tonight between New York and Indiana. New York, they got a W the other night, so now they're staring 1-2. Can they tie that thing up before they go back to New York for game 5? And then, of course, it's looking like the Western Conference Finals. It's looking like that's pretty much a wrap. We're having difficulties here. My apologies. We're going in and out. Again, you got the Eastern Conference Finals tonight, game 4. Can New York tie the series before they head back to New York for game 5? Or will Indiana go back with the commanding 3-1 lead, just like the OKC Thunder over in the West? They got the big W last night in Minnesota. They extend that to 3-1. So it's looking like that series is pretty much done as they head back to OKC for game 5 tomorrow night. But we're trying to push through this thing so we can hurry up and get to the offseason, right? That's when the Lakers can get back to being in play during the offseason. Right now, they're on the outside looking in. And man. But we've learned a lot. You got to sit back and watch these guys go, and you kind of see, what the Lakers need to do to try to be competitive. We all thought that they could be competitive, but they were far off. Not just losing in 5 to Minnesota, but you're looking at the rest of these teams. You look at OKC. We already knew that would be a tough matchup. So how far away are they How far away are they from OKC? OKC, they're a deep team. They're an athletic team. They're a team that's built the correct way. They got their one superstar and all the complementary pieces around that. And then, Williams, J-Dub, he's an all NBA team, made second team all or third team all NBA all-star appearance. So, he can be considered an all-star, right? But he's a high-quality role player. So you got that. And then you look across the board on the other side, Indiana, same thing. They're a young team, athletic team, a team that can go, athletic. They have tremendous depth, so that looks like that's the model to be a competitor in this league, right? And it's a model that the Lakers are very familiar with. You roll back to 2020, we could say the Lakers kind of started that model, right? It wasn't a model, no, it was you have your two stars and you have complementary, high quality role players around them, high quality complementary players around them, vets. You have a ton of depth, you have a ton of versatility, where you can throw out different lineups. You can go big, you can go small, whatever style of basketball the opponent wanted to play, the Lakers were able to match that. The Lakers were able to do that, right? Hey, we're playing Jokic, let's throw Dwight Howard out there. We need that body to bang. Okay, we're playing Miami. They're a smaller team. Well, let's start Alex Caruso. Let's throw Alex Caruso in the start lineup. Let's throw everyone a curveball and go small here, right? And then you had double bigs. You had McGee and Dwight, so you had multiple bigs to throw, right? Or AD at the 5. So having that versatility, and that's something that the Lakers have to get back to. However, they are very, very limited with the assets that they have to get back to that. So it's going to be tough. Rob is going to have to get real creative in doing so. So we have to figure it. So this offseason is crucial, man. It's crucial. There's no excuses. I get it. We don't have a ton of draft picks. We only got one draft pick. You got expiring contracts, so whatever they decide to do, it's going to be imperative that they make the right decisions, right? They can't mess this up. They cannot mess this up. You have Luka here, you got to build around Luka. You got to throw a competitive roster out there right now, right? And then you can't sit back and do nothing and say, oh, well, there was nothing there. You just can't do that. We know the Lakers are going to do something because they don't have a starting center on this roster, right? So it's not going to be a repeat of last summer where they did absolutely nothing. So it's going to be very interesting. And the world is watching. The NBA world is watching, man. You got Luka. How are you going to build around Luka Doncic? How is Rob going to do that? How, not only that, but how are you going to build a competitive roster? A first round exit, we can't have that again. That can't be the case next year, right? That's been the case the past 2 seasons. So, it's time to elevate on from that. Speaking of Luka Doncic, man, how about Luka stealing the NBA airwaves this past weekend, right? So Luka, he was at a Real Madrid Spain game, his former squad. He pulled up and all eyes was on Luka, right? For a good reason. Luka was looking really slim, looking really in shape, man. So shout out to Luka there. Now, of course, you'll have haters, or haters will say, well, he always looks like that in the offseason, when he's in Europe, but when he gets back to America, that's when he eats and that's when he gets lazy and this and that. I'm not buying that, man. Lakers Nation, don't let those haters steal our shine. Luka is looking good, and that's what we want to see. We much rather him look the way he's looking now, as opposed to the way he was looking, last time we saw him, or come back looking even bigger, right? So he looks very slimmed down, looks very in shape, and that's something to be excited about. In fact, the Slovenian media, this is a news source in Slovenia, they talked about Luka's his offseason regime and the way he's looking. I'm going to read it for you again. This is a quote from Slovenian media. It says, in the first phase of the long period between the seasons, Doncic dedicated himself to transforming his body, which includes both guided indoor conditioning and a modified diet. So the first physical results are already very, very clearly visible, right? And that's that picture that we saw from Luka on social media, not just on X, but he also posted on his Instagram. And then to finish up this quote from Slovenian media, it says, and the measurement results are also encouraging. So again, the first physical results are already very clearly visible, and the measurement results are also encouraging. So the report was that Luka was going to move in silence. You weren't going to see all his workouts. They weren't going to be publicized, all that stuff. He was going to move in silence, get right. But, that picture floated out. He pulled up to the game. We all saw it, and he looks great, man. He looks great. If Luka can get back in shape, That's going to be a scary thing for the league, right? Because don't get it twisted. Luka is still him. Luka is still him. You look at SGA's MVP numbers this year, not far. Luka wasn't far off from that. So Luka is still him. He's still that guy. Now he had a lot to battle, a lot to overcome this year with the trade, starting out with the injury, right? Came into the season injured. Then he had the trade. It was just a lot emotional, a lot physically. And, that took a toll on him and it kind of wear him down. And we saw that, in the first round of the playoffs. We went home early, right? So I'm not concerned about Luka. I think he'll be fine. But it is very encouraging to see the way he's looking. And let's see if that can carry over in the rest of the offseason, all the way into camp and then into next season. Because if Luka is in shape, if Luka is right, then it's going to be a fun season for us, Lakers Nation. And again, we still have to put the pieces around him, but it's very encouraging to see Luka looking the way he's looking. With that, if that's the case, he's conditioned and he's going to be like that on the court, then I think Luka can climb right back up into that top 3 conversation that we all, had him once in. I think he took a step back this year, but he's going to have a full offseason to get acclimated in LA, a full offseason to be the guy in LA now. So let's see how he responds to that. But we're all rooting for Luka, at least Lakers Nation. We are, right? LeBron. Let's talk about LeBron. So we know that he has a huge decision to make. About a month or so from now, he has to make that decision. Is he going to opt in? Is he going to opt out? What is he going to do? So he has a $52.6 million player option that he has to make a decision on. Now, my thinking was that he would opt out and that he would sign a new deal, 1+1 deal, kind of what he's been doing as of late. I thought that's what he would do. But Sham Charania was on the Pat McAfee show this morning, and he said that he's expecting LeBron to opt in. Boy, that's big right there. That's major news. Him opting in. So he's opting into the $52.6 million. Of course, that's one route he could go. The other route is he could just walk away from the Lakers, opt out and walk away and test free agency, which I don't see that happening. I think that's the least likely scenario. That's not going to happen. Then the other one we just spoke of, which I thought he would do, was opt out and sign a new 1+1. But, according to Shams, it looks like LeBron may be opting in. So that's going to make things a lot easier for the Lakers. And also what that does, it kind of gives them, it makes you wonder if that's what he's going to do. Could this be the LeBron James farewell season, right? Could we have a farewell tour for King James, right? Now, in my opinion, I'm ready for that. I think that will be best for the Lakers because in order to fully rebuild around Luka Doncic, you kind of need that LeBron James money. You can't have a 40, next summer, he'll be 42. You can't really build around Luka fully when you have to commit $50+ million, to a 42-year-old LeBron James. You just can't. Now, no shade to LeBron. LeBron was great this season. Great. The fact that the Lakers were able to climb up to the 3 seed and get into the playoffs, not be a play-in team, a lot of that was predicated or due to, or credit. You have to give a lot of that credit to LeBron James, right? Defensively, he was amazing defensively, and then he was made an All NBA team, All NBA second team. He finished 6th in MVP voting, so that alone tells you the quality of the season that he had at 41 years old. In year 22, right? So crazy. So yeah, he's definitely worth the money. He's definitely worth everything that he's getting. But let's just be honest, in order to fully build around Luka Doncic, you look at the rest of these teams in the West and in the East also. These teams are young, they're athletic, and I just don't know how much longer LeBron can play at that level, right? So again, once that money is off the books, you have that open roster slot, then I think you can fully start to build around Luka. So that's what I want to see. I would love to see LeBron opt in and play this final season, and then kind of ride off into the sunset. This be his ride off into the sunset season, and do it with the championship. Go ahead and win the title, LeBron. Go out like that. But we'll wait and see, how true this report is. If he's going to opt in, again, that'll be amazing for the Lakers. So let's see what happens there. Let's see how all that works out. I want to talk about what will happen and what won't happen this offseason, right? Really fast. I got like 5 things here that's definitely going to happen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things that's definitely going to happen here. Speaking of Bron, we could stay there, right? Again, a decision's going to be made there. And again, I believe it's going to be him. It's going to be a contract. It's going to be a new contract. It's either him opting in or him opting out and signing a new deal. So what will happen is LeBron will be a Laker, right? He's going to decide to remain a Laker. And that's something that's for sure happening this summer. I don't think he's going to leave. He's not going to test free agency and leave. Although that could be an option, but I don't see that happening. I believe if he does retire, that this will be his final season and he'll retire next summer, right after this season. So one thing that I do believe will happen this offseason is LeBron will be under contract with the Lakers moving into next season, right? Again, how long? I don't know. Could it be his one season, his final season, or could it be a 1+1? I don't know. We'll see, but LeBron will sign a contract, whether it's opting in or signing a new contract with the Lakers. So that's the first thing that I do believe will happen this summer. The next thing is Luka. I do believe Luka will sign an extension with the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, how long will that extension be? That remains to be seen, but August 2nd, that's when the Lakers can offer an extension, and they will, and I believe Luka will sign it. Now, it could be a 3-year deal or a 2+1 deal type deal, something like that. That way he'll reach his 10 years of service, and then he can maximize his earning potentials or maximize his salary with the Lakers once he hits that 10 years of service, NBA service, 10 years in the NBA. But again, I do believe Luka will sign an extension. So that's the second thing that I do believe will happen this summer. The third thing that the next thing that I believe will not happen, Austin Reeves will not be traded. I don't think that's going to happen. The Lakers love Austin as they should. Austin's elevated his game. So I don't think he'll be traded this summer. This summer. Let me make that clear. So I think Austin will remain a Laker for the time being. And he won't be moved this summer. Now, fast forward to the trade deadline. I don't know what will happen. We're going to talk about Austin a little bit more in a second here, but that's the third thing. Austin will remain a Laker. He won't be traded this summer. So that's the thing that I don't think will happen, right? The next thing, a DFS extension. That's number 4. I think that's happening now, just like the LeBron decision. The Lakers can offer or DFS is extension eligible until the end of next month, right? So you got about a month to play with, and I think the Lakers will extend him. One, Luka wants him here. He's very tight with Luka, great teammates, great friends with Luka. So Luka wants him here, but then also the Lakers should want him here, right? Not only was DFS great for the Lakers, that trade really changed the scope of the Lakers season. Even had you kept AD, DFS was going to be crucial. If you didn't acquire Luka, DFS was going to be crucial in the Lakers' success, right? And he was, right? You got Luka, and he still was. So he was tremendous for what he did. But also, if you lose DFS, there's nothing out there to replace him. You're just not going to replace him. If you don't pick up or if you don't extend him and he walks and you lose him in free agency, you're not going to replace him. You're just not. There's nothing out there in free agency where you can replace him now. If you're talking about a trade, then that's a different scenario. If you're talking about moving Rui or something, whatever the case may be, to get another 3-and-D guy in here, that's cool. I can see that, but I'm not doing that at the expense of losing DFS. If anything, if that were the case, you were to acquire another 3-and-D guy, you need him alongside DFS. You need as many wings as you can get. That's something that the Lakers do need. they need to get some more wings, right? More athletic wings, if you will, 3-and-D guys. So I don't see DFS going anywhere now. I think maybe it's a 2-year deal or a 3-year deal. I could see a 3-year deal for less money than he's making now per year at least, but more guaranteed money, in the end. I could see something like that, or I could see a 2-year deal where they offer him a little bit of a pay increase for 2 years, right? The thing is, for the Lakers, that works to the Lakers' benefit, is there's not a lot of teams with cap space out there this summer. So that plays into the Lakers' benefit, right? If there were a lot of teams with cap space, everyone could use the DFS. He's that good. But the fact that there's not a lot of teams with money, again, that works in the Lakers' favor. So they can probably come in and offer him a little bit less annually, but guarantee that second year or that third year, which gets him to, re-up with the Lakers and sign that extension. So we'll see how that plays out. But I do believe an extension will be signed with DFS. I think he wants to be here. And the Lakers definitely want him here, and they need him here. There's a definite need for him. In fact, I think he's penciled right back into the starting lineup next summer or next season, no matter what the Lakers do. So that's the fourth thing that I believe will happen, DFS extension. The next thing that I believe will happen, number 5 on my list, is Jordan Goodwin. So we know the Lakers converted him before the end of the regular season. For the playoffs, they converted him from a two-way to a standard NBA contract, and it was a multi-year deal. However, the second year had a player option. I do believe the Lakers will exercise that player option, and Jordan Goodwin will be back. He's another guy I think that this team, we definitely need him on this roster. I want to see Goodwin put in the work this summer and get better. But I think he'll play a pivotal role in the Lakers off the bench next season, right? He was great for the Lakers down the stretch this summer. Now in the playoffs, he didn't play much, or down the stretch this past season. In the playoffs, again, he didn't play much, but I think he'll have a pivotal role for the Lakers, the Lakers next season. I like him a lot. And I think for sure that's a no-brainer. They'll pick that option up, and he'll be on the roster next season, moving to the next season, right? And again, I want to see how much better he's gotten. I know he's in the lab working on his game, and then he'll have a full offseason as an NBA player on an NBA contract. So I'm excited to see Jordan Goodwin there. You talk about depth, you talk about athleticism, you talk about youth, right? All these other teams, well, he can play a big part of that for the Lakers. Another guy that the Lakers can trust and be able to play, as we move down the road, right? The final thing, the 16, this is a thing that I think will not happen, is Austin Reeves signing an extension. Now, the Lakers will offer Austin an extension, but the most that they can offer him is in the ballpark of like $19.5 million. So he's going to turn that down. He's going to test free agency. So again, we talked about Austin not being moved this summer. Well, Austin's not going to sign that contract. Again, the Lakers will put it on the table. He'll turn it down, and business will pick up next summer for Austin, whether it's with the Lakers or elsewhere, or if the Lakers moving him or whatever. We'll see how that all plays out. But Austin will not sign the extension this summer. So those are 6 things that I believe will and won't happen this summer. Now, speaking of Austin, let's keep talking about Austin. So Austin's agent, Aaron Riley, he kind of made news also this past weekend. He sent the Austin Reeves warning, if you will. He sent it out there really fast. Let me read it. This is a quote from Aaron Riley. He says, "Next year is going to be a show. People really have no idea what's to come. Keep putting him in trade rumors for second string centers." So it was a low-key warning or a low-key shot there, right? It's kind of weird, like where that but he's speaking very high, as he should, of his clients. So they say it's going to be a show. So Austin, it must be in the lab. He's going to put in work, and we'll see what that looks like. But there it is, from his agent, Aaron Riley. Hey, keep that man out of those trade machines for backup centers. Who's the backup center he's talking about? I don't know. I don't know who that guy is. Are you talking about Gafford? But with Dallas, I don't think you have to send Austin to Dallas to acquire Gafford, right? If that's the route you want to go. I don't think you have to do that to acquire him or to acquire Nick Claxton. I don't know. So we'll see, man. But again, like I said, I don't think he's going to be moved. So he'll be here and we'll see the work that he's been putting in, and we'll see if there's any truth to what Aaron Riley is saying. And I do believe Austin is going to be better. He's gotten better each year in and year out. I don't see this year being any different. I think he needs to add more physicality to his game, work on that spot up shooting, right? Those open shots and all that, right? And I think he will. So I think Austin will be all right. So we'll see. We'll just see if he's in the plans long term. Now, the Lakers would love to have him in the plans long term. They want him to be a pillar of the franchise along with Luka. But, there's things that will dictate that. He's no longer going to be on a $13 million contract, a team-friendly contract, the most team-friendly contract in the entire league. It's not going to be that anymore. It's going to be big money that you're going to have to keep him. And speaking of big money, Bleacher Report's our very own Eric Pincus. He put a report out there, I think yesterday, that Austin is looking, or the whispers are that Austin is looking to make around $30 million per year, right? At least $30 million per year. I've seen other reports that it's going to be even higher than that. So if the starting price is 30, that could jump up to 35, 36, even $40 million, right? So again, it's not the $13 million that he's currently playing on. It's not the $19 million, which would also be amazing and team friendly. That's what the Lakers can offer him, 19 and a half. That's what the Lakers can offer him this summer. Again, we spoke about it. I think he turns that down. So we're talking at minimum $30 million. So at that price point, it has to be a good fit next to Luka. And, he has to elevate his game. So we'll see. We'll see how that all plays out. All right. So it's a lot to watch for this summer with Austin Reeves. We're all rooting for him. He's the guy we found. He's the guy that we drafted. And he's a guy that we would love to keep. But again, at that price point, you got Luka here. So this is an entirely different team. There's a lot of other things that have to make sense for the Lakers to move forward long term with that. All right. And then the final thing that I wanted to talk about before we get out of here, we're talking about centers. We know the Lakers are going to acquire a big man, but I thought we'd take a break from that today. I want to talk about two other names that the Lakers can potentially add. These are two guards, right? Now, we know the Lakers don't have a ton of cap space, so these are two guards that I think one of them they can get with their taxpayer MLE, which is like $5.1 million, somewhere around that. And then the other one is a vet minimum contract. And both of these guys, well, one of these guys, he's currently being rumored or linked, linked in rumors to the Lakers. And the other guy, he's been linked for a couple of years now. We missed out on him a couple of years ago. So maybe the Lakers can circle back to him. But that guy is Bruce Brown, right? Bruce Brown, right? Again, a couple of years ago, we thought we had him in the bag, but he ended up signing a much larger contract than what the Lakers could offer in Indiana. But yeah, we definitely thought we had him in the bag. But he went to Indy, and then of course that Indy offered him the money that they did because they wanted to send him to Toronto, in the Pascal Siakam trade, all that. So we know how that played out. But even last year, we thought that we could circle back to Bruce, but could Bruce finally become a Laker? Now, with that $5.1 million taxpayer MLE, maybe they can get something done. Now, I think all of us thinks that the Lakers would go out and, spend that money on a potential big, but maybe we can trade, for a big, and then you can free up that money to get Bruce Brown. And Bruce Brown would be great. He'll be great next to Luka, like great next to Luka. Of course, he was in New Orleans last year after being moved and traded or whatever. He didn't have his best season, but it was on the bad team. I think you put Bruce on a good team again, and I think you got something there. So I would love to see Bruce Brown on this roster next to Luka. He's a guy, be that point of attack guard that we always talk about here. He can shoot the three, although his numbers were down a little bit last year. He can shoot the open three. I tell you what, he's going to get the most wide open looks, since you got to go back to Denver with Jokic, right? A few years back, that championship year. He's going to get looks of that quality, right? Of that caliber. So that probably frees him up to knock down some more threes. But Bruce Brown is a guy I would love to have, and I think you can get him on that $5.1 million taxpayer MLE. Another guy, D'Anthony Melton, right? You're starting to hear his names being whispered and being mentioned in these Lakers rumors and in these Lakers talks. D'Anthony Melton, he was balling up in Golden State. They loved him there. He was having an amazing season. Unfortunately, he had a very bad injury, ACL, right? If I'm not mistaken, he had a very bad injury. But I think he's a guy that you can get on a vet minimum, and he can be one of those guys like a Malik Monk, and some of those guys, right, who came, they kind of rehabbed themselves, rehabbed their career on that vet minimum, and then they went out and got paid later. Although the Lakers may have cap space next summer. So if he does come, maybe you're able to keep him. But D'Anthony Melton, he's only 26 years old. I would love to have D'Anthony Melton here, right? He can be that guard off the bench, be that scorer off the bench. He can give you some defense. He can make some shots. He can be a shot creator, a playmaker. I love his game. And I think he's a low risk, high reward guy. Again, we're talking about on a vet minimum. So you're not spending anything for him. You can acquire him. And I think, that could be something that could potentially pay off for the Lakers. So both of those guys are defensive-minded guys, right? They can play defense. They can also score, so they can play both ways. They can both be point of attack defenders. Now, again, if you do go that route, you acquire those guys. Of course, you still need a big. Now, I'm talking with these guys, acquiring these guys, both of these guys, I'm looking at acquiring a big via trade, and then, you'll still have the taxpayer MLE and vet minimums to acquire both of these guys, or just one of them, whatever the case may be. I would love that. And of course, you have other guards on the roster in Gabe and some others, but I think, you potentially move Gabe Vincent in a deal for a big. So that's why I mentioned these guys. So those are just two names to look out for, two names that the Lakers should be very interested in, and two names that are very gettable, attainable, cap space wise, right? Again, they're not going to require not even full MLEs or major contracts. So yeah. Bruce Brown, D'Anthony Melton, two names that should be on the Lakers' radar and that I believe would help this team and fit right in with this team. All right. So that's it. My time's up. We talked a lot. It's time to get ready for that New York, Indiana game, man. Enjoy that. And we'll tap in with you guys. I'll be back with you on Thursday, but we'll be here tomorrow for Lakers Daily. So tap in. And sound off in the comments section down below. Let me know how you're feeling about Luka Doncic, the new look Luka, slim Luka. If you're excited about that, let me know how you're feeling about LeBron potentially opting in. And then let's talk about AR and let's just keep the conversation going, man. It's Lakers Daily. Thank you guys for tuning in, man. Enjoy your night. Peace.
You can't sleep, can't eat till you get it right. Oh, all my life, I've been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, gotta pay that. Pay the price. Can't be real, but I'm living the life. All my life, I've been grinding all my life. Lakers, baby. Yeah. You know what it is. Purple, yellow, purple, yellow, purple, yellow, purple, yellow. Yeah. You know what it is. Purple, yellow, purple, yellow, purple, yellow, purple, yellow. Yeah. You know what it is. Purple, yellow, purple, yellow, purple, yellow, purple, yellow. Yeah. You know what it is. Purple, yellow, purple, yellow, purple, yellow, purple, yellow. Yeah.
I'm a Laker till I die. Rest in peace, Chick Hearn.
93-70. This game's in the Admiral refrigerator. The door is closed. The lights out. Butter's getting hard. The eggs are cooling, and the Jell-O is jiggling. Been jiggling for a long time.
Mama didn't raise no failure.